Before we begin, represent the legends of Harlem. Official Reelz apparel is now available. Grab yours through the link in the description below and help support future episodes of The Glow. Firefighters carry the last known resident from the front entrance. The fire captain checks a handwritten list. Fire captain. That's everybody. A tired cheer rises from the crowd. Residents embrace. Marcus looks down at Leroy. You hear that? Everybody's out. Leroy nods. He closes his eyes, exhausted. Then, a woman pushes through the crowd, barefoot. Her dress is covered with soot. My baby! No one hears her at first. Where is my baby? A neighbor turns. I thought she was with you. The mother's face empties. No, she was asleep. I thought my sister had her. She searches the crowd wildly. Where's my sister? A woman nearby begins crying. The mother understands. No! She turns toward the burning building. My baby is still inside! The fire captain checks the list again. Which apartment? 4th floor, 4B. A firefighter moves toward the entrance. The captain grabs him. Hold it! The firefighter points toward the upper windows. Captain! The rear wall is shifting. The floor's already gone on the east side. We go in there now, we lose another man. Please! She grabs the captain's coat. She's just a baby! The captain's face tightens. He looks at the building. He knows. I'm sorry. The mother collapses. No. No, please. Leroy slowly removes the oxygen mask. Marcus sees him. No. Leroy stands. No. You promised me you were finished. Leroy looks toward the 4th floor. Through the roar of the fire, a faint sound, a baby crying. Leroy hears it. Marcus sees that he hears it. Leroy, don't. She is alive. Son, listen to me. That building can come down at any second. I understand. No, you don't. Nobody can make it up there now. Leroy looks at the mother, then back at the captain. Someone has to try. Not you. Leroy turns toward Marcus. His father stands directly in his path. You walk through that door again. I may never see you come back out. Leroy's eyes fill with emotion, but his voice remains calm. I know. Marcus stares at him. Then how can you ask me to let you go? Leroy looks toward the mother. She sits on the pavement, begging anyone to save her child. I would not ask you to let me go. I am asking you to understand why I must. Marcus's face breaks. The baby cries again, faint, weak. Leroy steps closer to his father. I am sorry, Daddy. Marcus grips the front of Leroy's burned uniform. He wants to stop him. He wants to protect him. But he knows his son. Slowly, Marcus releases him. Bring that baby home. Leroy nods. Yes, Daddy. He turns, runs toward the building. The fire captain reaches for him, but Leroy slips past, disappears into the smoke. Marcus stands frozen in the street, watching the doorway, knowing this time his son may not return.
There is one place you cannot only there, you shall find you no
Leroy disappears into the smoke. The front entrance vanishes behind him. The heat is immediate, violent. The air itself seems to burn. Flames crawl across the walls and ceiling. Burning plaster crashes onto the floor. Leroy pulls the remains of his sleeve over his mouth and lowers himself beneath the smoke. His breathing is already strained. His eyes water. He moves deeper into the building. Meanwhile, outside, Marcus stands frozen near the entrance. The fire captain watches the doorway in disbelief. He won't make the stairs. Marcus does not look at him. He keeps his eyes fixed on the smoke. He heard the baby. The captain studies Marcus. That doesn't change the building. No, it doesn't. The mother remains on her knees. Please, please bring her back. A deep groan comes from inside the building. The firefighters look up. The fourth-floor windows tremble in their frames. Everybody back! The crowd retreats. Marcus does not move. Inside, Leroy reaches the first flight of stairs. The railing is gone. Half the steps have collapsed. Fire rises through the opening beneath him. He grips the wall and carefully crosses what remains. A burning section of ceiling crashes behind him. The stairwell shakes. Leroy looks upward. 4 floors. He begins climbing. Second floor landing, moments later. Smoke rolls down the staircase like black water. Leroy, cough, drops to one knee. For a moment, he cannot breathe. The baby cries again, faint, somewhere above. Leroy lifts his head. I hear you. He forces himself back to his feet, continues upward. 3rd floor stairwell. The fire has consumed most of the landing. Leroy finds a narrow path along the wall. His shoes step through burning debris. The soles begin to soften. He nearly slips, catches himself. A pipe bursts overhead. Scalding steam fills the corridor. Leroy shields his face and pushes through it. The baby cries again. Closer now. 4th floor hallway. The hallway is almost completely hidden by smoke. Apartment doors burn in their frames. The ceiling sags. Leroy searches through the darkness. 4B. He finds the numbers on one door. 4B. The entrance is blocked by a fallen cabinet and burning debris. Leroy grabs the cabinet, pulls. It does not move. He braces one foot against the wall, pulls harder. The cabinet shifts several inches. A section of burning plaster falls across his shoulder. Leroy, brushes it away. His sleeve catches fire. He slaps at it until the flame disappears. Most of the fabric is gone. The skin beneath it remains unmarked. Leroy does not notice. The baby cries from inside the apartment. I am coming. He grips the cabinet again. With everything he has, he drags it away from the door. Leroy pushes inside. The living room is engulfed. Furniture burns, curtains collapse in sheets of fire. The baby's crying comes from a bedroom at the far end of the apartment. Leroy moves toward it. The floor beneath him creaks. He stops. A section of floor collapses inches in front of his feet. Fire roars up from the apartment below. Leroy steps along the narrow edge that remains. The heat distorts the room around him. He reaches the bedroom door. It is jammed. He pushes. Nothing. Leroy strikes the door with his shoulder. Once, twice. On the third impact, the flame breaks. Smoke fills the room. A crib sits near the window. Flames crawl along the wall behind it. Inside, the baby cries beneath a small blanket. Alive. Leroy's face softens with relief. There you are. He moves toward the crib. Then, a tremendous crack sounds overhead. Leroy looks up. A massive burning support beam tears loose from the ceiling. It falls directly toward him. Leroy throws up both hands. The impact drives him to his knees. The floor shudders beneath him. Leroy screams. The beam continues pressing downward. Burning wood crushes against his shoulders. His arms tremble violently. His knees slide across the floor. The beam is too heavy, far too heavy. Leroy tries to push upward. Nothing happens. His elbows begin to bend. The beam lowers another inch. Flames spread across the remains of his sleeves. The fabric burns away from his forearms. His shoes begin melting against the floor. The baby cries harder. Leroy looks toward the crib. He tries again. His entire body shakes. Come on! The beam does not move. His hands begin slipping. His strength is gone. The ceiling above him continues collapsing. Leroy grits his teeth. Tears stream down his face from the heat and smoke. Please! The beam drops lower. Leroy's arms begin folding beneath it. He looks toward the baby. Please, just let me get her out. The baby's crying suddenly softens. Leroy kneels beneath the burning beam, his face twisted with pain, his clothes burning, smoke surrounding him. Then, something changes. The roar of the fire becomes distant. The room seems to slow. A faint warmth flickers across Leroy's hands. Not flame, not reflection. Golden light, soft, almost hidden beneath the smoke. It moves beneath the skin of his fingers, across his palms, up his forearms. The light reaches his eyes. A quiet golden shimmer rests there for only a moment. Leroy does not see it. He does not understand it. The baby does. Her crying stops. She stares at him, calm, safe. The faintest smile touches her face. The beam rises, only an inch, but it rises. Leroy stares upward in confusion. He pushes harder. The golden warmth flickers once more across his hands. The beam lifts higher. Leroy slowly rises from his knees. The impossible weight moves with him. His legs straighten. His shoulders press beneath the burning wood. The floor cracks under his feet. Leroy from the effort, but he keeps lifting, not easily, not without pain. The strength is temporary, precise, just enough. He turns his body, forces the beam away from the crib. With one final push, Leroy throws it aside. The beam crashes through the floor. Fire erupts from the opening beneath it. The golden shimmer disappears completely. Leroy collapses onto both hands. His strength is gone. He struggles to breathe. The baby begins crying again. Leroy looks up, remembers why he came. He crawls toward the crib. Leroy reaches the baby. He lifts her carefully, wraps the blanket tightly around her. Leroy, it is all right. I have you. The ceiling begins to collapse behind him. Leroy presses the baby against his chest. He rises unsteadily. His legs nearly give out. He forces himself toward the doorway. Meanwhile, outside, the fourth-floor windows explode outward. The crowd screams. A section of the roof collapses. The mother tries to run toward the building. Firefighters hold her back. My baby! Leroy! Marcus steps toward the entrance. The fire captain grabs him. You can't go in there. My son is in there. That floor just came down. Marcus fights against him. Leroy! The doorway remains filled with flame. No movement, no sound, only smoke. Inside, Leroy staggers from apartment 4B. The baby is pressed beneath his chin. He shields her with his body. The hallway begins collapsing behind him. A burning door falls across his path. Leroy changes direction, finds the rear stairwell. The door will not open. He strikes it with his shoulder. Nothing. Again, the frame splits. He falls through. The stairs are burning. Leroy descends one step at a time. His melted shoes stick to the floor. He pulls his feet free. Smoke rises from his clothing. He into the baby's blanket, but keeps her face covered. The building shakes. A section of wall collapses behind him. Leroy loses his footing, falls down several stairs. He twists his body in midair, protecting the baby. His back strikes the landing. The baby remains unharmed. Leroy lies there for 1 second, 2, then forces himself up again. Almost there. Outside, the front section of the building partially collapses. A wall of smoke and sparks rolls into the street. The crowd retreats. Marcus stares into the blackened doorway. His face empties. For the first time, he believes his son may be gone. The mother begins sobbing. The firefighters lower their heads. Silence settles over the street beneath the roar of the flames. Then, Marcus looks up. A faint sound from inside the building. The fire captain hears it too. Wait! Through the smoke, a silhouette appears, barely standing, carrying something against its chest. Marcus steps forward. Leroy. The figure moves closer. The smoke parts. Leroy emerges. His uniform is burned beyond recognition. Both sleeves are almost completely gone. His pants are blackened and torn. His shoes are partially melted. Smoke rises from his body. His hair and eyebrows are lightly singed. He carries the baby tightly against his chest. The mother screams. My baby! Leroy takes 2 more steps. His knees buckle. Marcus catches him before he hits the ground. I've got you. I've got you, son. A firefighter takes the baby, places her into the mother's arms. The mother holds the child against her chest. The baby cries, alive, unhurt. The crowd erupts in relieved sobs and cheers. Marcus lowers Leroy carefully to the pavement. Leroy, look at me. Leroy's eyes slowly open. Daddy? Where are you hurt? Leroy looks confused. Tell me where you're hurt. Leroy looks down at himself. His clothes continue smoking. He examines his hands, his arms. I do not think I am. What do you mean you don't think you are? A firefighter kneels beside them. He reaches for Leroy's arm, stops, stares. The skin is completely unharmed. No burns, no blisters, no redness. The firefighter checks Leroy's other arm, then his neck, his face. Nothing. Captain! The fire captain approaches. What is it? There aren't any burns. The captain kneels, examines Leroy himself. His expression changes. That's impossible. Marcus looks between them. What are you saying? His clothes burned against his body. His shoes melted. He was inside during the collapse. He should be... The captain stops himself, looks at Leroy. He should not be alive. Leroy barely hears him. He looks past the firefighters toward the mother. She rocks the baby in her arms, crying, laughing, kissing her child's face. Is the baby all right? The mother looks at him. She's all right. She's perfect. She carries the baby closer. You saved her. Leroy looks at the child. The baby stares back at him. For the briefest moment, she smiles, as though she remembers something no one else saw. Leroy smiles weakly. Oh, good. His eyes close. His head rests against Marcus's shoulder. Marcus holds him tightly. Around them, Harlem stares at the burned clothing, the melted shoes, the untouched skin. At the young man who should not have survived. No one understands what happened. Not the firefighters, not Marcus, not Leroy. Only the baby knows what she saw, and she cannot tell them. The next morning, before sunrise, complete silence. Moonlight spills softly through the window. Leroy sits upright at the edge of his bed. He has not slept. The events of the previous day replay endlessly through his mind. The fire, the collapsing stairwell, the baby's cries, the burning beam, Marcus calling his name, the firefighters staring at him in disbelief. That's impossible. He should not be alive. His burned clothing has been carefully folded and placed beside his bed. His partially melted shoes sit upon the floor. Leroy slowly turns his hands over in the moonlight. No burns, no scars, no redness, nothing. He studies them in silence. Leroy, I should have been burned. A long beat. Leroy, I was not strong enough. He remembers the impossible weight of the beam pressing against his body. He remembers falling to his knees. He remembers believing he had failed. And then, nothing. He cannot explain what happened afterward. Leroy closes his hands tightly into fists. Leroy, I do not understand. Without another word, he rises from his bed. He quietly dresses, bows respectfully before the small photograph of his master resting upon his dresser, then leaves his room. Harlem streets, sunrise. The city slowly awakens. Store owners prepare to open their businesses. Children wait for school buses. Neighbors wave from their stoops. Several people recognize Leroy immediately. Morning, Leroy. How are you feeling this morning? Very well, thank you. You had everybody scared yesterday. Leroy smiles politely. I am sorry about that. He continues walking. The people of Harlem see a hero. Leroy sees only another day. He walks toward the dojo. Dojo, early morning. The dojo remains exactly as Leroy has always known it. Quiet, peaceful, timeless. His master sits silently in meditation. Without opening his eyes, he smiles softly. You are early this morning. Leroy bows deeply. Good morning, master. And yet, you have not slept. Leroy appears surprised. No, master. The master slowly opens his eyes. Why? Leroy considers the question. I have come seeking understanding. Ha ha. Then today is no different from every other day. Leroy smiles slightly at his master's response. He kneels before him. Master, I do not understand what happened yesterday. That has always been true. Leroy smiles despite himself. Tell me. Leroy takes a deep breath. There was a fire. The master remains silent. Many people were trapped inside. I was able to help them. He pauses. There was also a child. And I failed. The master raises an eyebrow. Did you? Yes, master. The beam was too heavy. I was not strong enough to move it. Yet the child lives. Yes, master. Curious. Leroy lowers his eyes. I do not understand. I know. Master, I should have been burned. The firefighters said no one could have survived. My clothes burned against my body, my shoes melted, yet I have no burns. The master remains silent for several moments. Were you afraid? Yes, master. Then why did you remain? She could not leave by herself. Why did you return to the building? Because she was still inside. Why did you enter the building at all? Because someone needed help. And if you had died, Leroy does not hesitate. Then I suppose I would have died. The master studies his student quietly. Without regret? Yes, master. Why? Because she was afraid. Silence fills the dojo. The master smiles softly. Curious. What is curious, master? That after nearly 20 years of life, you continue asking the wrong questions. Leroy appears confused. I do? Yes. Then what should I be asking? Tell me, Leroy. Yesterday, while inside the building, what did you desire? To save the child. Nothing else? No, master. Not glory? No, master. Not recognition? No, master. Then why did you save her, Leroy? Because she needed me. The master smiles once more. Master, there are many men who seek power. There are fewer who seek wisdom. Fewer still who seek truth. But the rarest among us are those who seek nothing for themselves at all. They simply serve. Leroy considers his master's words carefully. Master, such men are often capable of far more than they realize. Leroy. Master, am I approaching the final level? The master's smile widens. Master, are you? Leroy. I do not know. Master. Good. Then continue your journey. Leroy. But I still do not understand what happened yesterday. Master. Neither do you understand what will happen tomorrow. Leroy. No, master. Master. And yet, that has never stopped you from moving forward. The master slowly rises to his feet. He places his hand gently upon Leroy's shoulder. There is a great power in this world, Leroy. It cannot be taken. It cannot be forced. And it cannot be found by those who seek it for themselves alone. Leroy listens carefully. Remember this. The greatest truths in this world are often found by those who have stopped looking for them. Leroy: I do not understand. Master: No, you do not. The master smiles warmly. That is why your journey continues. Leroy: Continue where, master? The master walks toward the dojo doors and opens them. Outside, Harlem has begun another ordinary day. Children laugh. Neighbors wave to one another. The city lives. Master: Wherever someone needs you. Leroy looks out upon Harlem, then back toward his master. He smiles. Leroy: Yes, master. The master watches his student leave the dojo. For the briefest moment, his smile softens, almost as though he understands far more than he has said. You are much closer than you realize. Sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones no one notices, until the day the impossible happens. If this story moved you, help us continue bringing the glow to life. Like this video, subscribe to Reelz, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss episode 14. The journey to becoming the last dragon has only just begun.